Good afternoon again.
Good afternoon.
Today I'll be reading the church history. Let's take a look back at how Mount Calvary Missionary Baptist Church got started. It all started, instead of 81 years ago, it's going to be 82 years ago now, on a farm called the Ed Johnson Farm, located southeast of Willard, North Carolina. The farm was owned by the late Mr. Ed Johnson. Since its inception from a Sunday school gathering in a barn, with God's grace and beautiful blessings, we have grown into a beautiful church.
Amen.
Sister Alberta Burt Jones and the late Sister Sally Swenson lived on this farm along with several other families. Each family had several children with no religious or recreational facilities to attend. The two ladies who were sister-in-laws were talking one day about the children having no place to go on Sundays. There were two churches about 2 or 3 miles from the farm, and everybody had to walk to get there. They would walk to Wallard Chapel Baptist Church on the 4th Sunday, and to Willard Chapel Baptist Church on the 3rd Sunday. The ladies would wear their old shoes, and the children walked along barefooted. When visiting Willard Chapel Baptist Church, they would stop by Mr. and Mrs. Archie Walker's house and wipe the dust from their feet and change into their good shoes. The children would then put on their socks and sandals. If visiting Wallard Chapel Baptist Church, they would stop at the old school, and the process of wiping the dust and changing the shoes was done likewise. After church, there was no place for the children to go. Sister Sally told Sister Burt she should start having Sunday school on Sunday afternoon. Immediately, Sister Burt Jones spoke to her husband, the late Doc Jones, about preparing a place. Mr. Jones, being the kind and wonderful man that he was, asked some of the young men in the community to help clean up a place called the Hayloft. It was so spacious, there was room for benches and whatever else they needed. While the men prepared the place, the ladies began to get the children together and make plans for the opening of a Sunday school. Every family on the farm participated. Soon, everything was ready, and they met and organized their Sunday school with enough children for 3 classes. This was done June 30th, 1929. For recreation, they planned programs with plenty of eating and drinking lemonade. The ministers would come over on Sunday afternoon and preach free of charge to help the Sunday school. People came over from Wallard Chapel and Willard Chapel to give us a helping hand. Sunday school was held at 3:00 p.m. each Sunday. After establishing the Sunday school, the people in the community didn't just stop there. They would have little get-togethers in the summer, selling hot dogs and drinks.
Amen.
This money was used to help purchase materials needed for our Christmas programs so that every child could receive a gift.
Amen.
On the 5th Sunday in August, 1936, on the advice of Reverend R.L. Carr and the Middle District Missionary Baptist Association, Mount Calvary, our ship of Zion, made its first maiden voyage. The Monday night after the 5th Sunday, an old-fashioned and spirit-filled revival meeting was held. At that time, several young people surrendered their souls to the Lord. Yeah. On the first Sunday morning in September 1936, baptism was held at the Northeast Cape Fear River. Among the several young people and the first to be baptized was Sister Eloise James Davis. After the baptismal ceremony, all the candidates went to our newly organized church to be given the right hand of fellowship and were welcomed as members. Mrs. Alberta Jones, Mr. Joseph, and Mrs. Roberta Oliver were accepted on Christian Experience. Other members to receive the right hand of fellowship were Christine Dixon Moore, Alberta Sessions Hall, Monroe Carter, Doc Jones, and Rachel Carter, status unknown. Reverend Carr's sermon was spirit-filled with the gospel. On this days, joyful love was flowing like water in a stream. As years passed, the congregation grew and the need for more space became apparent. Under the leadership and pastorate of Reverend Grady Fennell, a new sanctuary was beginning. As the walls of the new sanctuary were raised, God called our pastor and shepherd home. Reverend James Utley came and led the congregation for a short time, but left before the completion of our sanctuary. As we continued our struggle, the moderator of the Middle District Missionary Baptist Association, Reverend Baxter L. Rich, and Reverend Carol Majette, recommended to the officers of our church, Reverend Jake Watkins. Upon approval at our conference, Reverend Watkins became a member of our church family to serve as pastor. He remained as a magnificent leader, teacher, and pastor until his health declined. Before Reverend Watkins became ill, God has sent to us a young man, Reverend Ben Otis,
Amen.
and his wife, Sister Stella Otis, who would become our interim and next pastor. On a cheerful and high-spirited Sunday morning, a young minister, Reverend Ben Otis, was invited from the back of the sanctuary and introduced to Reverend Watkins. He and his wife were received with open arms and invited to enjoy the offerings of our church. This young man was taken under the spiritual wings of our pastor and guided into the realm of the gospel ministry. As Reverend Watkins' health continued to decline, he asked the officers to consider this young minister as a candidate to become their new pastor. With warm hearts, Reverend Ben Otis became our pastor and continues to serve with distinction. Pastor Otis took the stern of our ship of Zion and has been a faithful servant to the church as well as the community. The church was in dire need of repairs, and under the guidance of the Holy Spirit and Reverend Ben Otis, the windows have been replaced twice. The floor has been replaced and carpeted. New pews have been purchased. A baptismal pool has been added. The addition of a new fellowship hall, among other projects, successfully completed. The church still needs some repairs in certain areas, but look how far it has come from.
Amen. Thank you.
The church continues to strive to meet the needs of the community in any way it can provide assistance. It has served dinners to the community and had numerous fellowship dinners after service. The tradition still continues way back from 1929. Our congregation continues to grow and flourish under the leadership of the Reverend Ben Norwood Otis. Our present pastor, Reverend Otis, is striving to preach the truth according to God's holy word.
Amen. Amen.
The Holy Spirit spoke. I need to add something to Sister Diane. When I was reading the history today, you know, when you do something and you overlook something. Yesterday I was sick when I was writing, and I copied the one we had from last year. And when I do something wrong, I like to let you know. I didn't incorporate Sister Diane, the First Lady.
Amen.
Mount Calvary Missionary.
Amen.